Hello and welcome again to another edition of New Biz Buzz, the show where we highlight new businesses. We talk to business owners that are doing something unique, something that's different, and something that's helping society. That's what we talk about here at New Biz Buzz. Here we go. You're here for another edition of New Biz Buzz. My name is Leon Thomas. Thanks for watching. You can see us right here on YouTube and other social media networks starting next week, but every Monday at 7 o'clock right here for New Biz Buzz. And don't forget our other show, Real Thoughts and Conversation, that airs on Wednesdays at 7. We're going to have a great conversation today. We have someone who's doing something very special. I'd like to introduce our guest for tonight, Mr. C.M. Healy. C.M., thanks for being here. How you doing?
Good evening. Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Right on. So listen, let's talk about the really important thing first. As I understand it, you're in Texas, and my favorite restaurant is in Texas. It's a place called Pappadeaux's, like Cajun seafood. Oh man. If you can figure out a way to get my favorite Pappadeaux's to me before the end of the show, I tell you what, some great things are happening. It's catfish pontchartrain. If you can figure out how to get it. So what do you think? Can you do it? Can you do it?
It might be breaking my superhero code, being the Flash. Like I could literally run it to you before you could blink, but it's kind of a personal business thing. So, but I'll see what I can do. I will see what I can do.
All right. Cool. Thanks for being our guest. We're excited to have you here. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight.
Absolutely.
So now you are a children's book publisher. All right. So please do two things. One, tell us when one says the words children's book publisher, how did you get into that? How long you've been doing it? Tell us the backstory on that.
Well, so I've been writing since about 6th grade. Didn't go to school to be a writer. Never thought about being an author as a full-time job. Still not quite full-time, but getting there. And so I'd written all these little silly poems and stories and stuff like that. And it was actually when I got the idea for my young adult novels that I thought maybe I could do this for real. So I started writing my adult novel, Beyond the After, which is this one here. It's a series. And it took a while, but I finally spent 9 months while I was teaching. I stopped completely playing video games, got it written, got it out while some friends of mine were illustrating the children's books because I can't draw to save my life. So they were illustrating 3 of the children's books. I got them printed and published in June of 2015. So I've been doing it for right around 6 years now and got more books out and everything else like that. But yeah, it's been a very interesting adventure. It's a lot of fun. Since I've started doing school visits, it's a blast. But yeah, it's something I just kind of fell into. I'm a very good storyteller, so I'm running with it.
Yeah, right on. You're running with it. That is great to hear. Now, there's so many people say they want to do something, right? Whatever that is, run a marathon, lose weight, write a children's book, right? What do you see in terms of writing a children's book? I'm sure you talk to a lot of people that say they're going to do it and some follow through and some don't. What's the key to making it happen?
Just do it. Not to coin Nike's term, but you got to sacrifice. When I do school visits, I talk to the kids a lot about if you want to be really good at something, you're going to have to sacrifice. And of course, I tell them I've sacrificed watching football because I did book signings at grocery stores on the weekends here in Texas. Again, I've already told you, I really don't play video games still that much. I'm way behind. I've still got a Metroid game to play on the Wii, the Zelda game on the Switch. So
hold it. Name off these games again. What?
Oh, so I'm Nintendo old school. Like I literally have an Atari 2600, the original Nintendo. I'm sporting my kind of obscure Zelda shirt today. I even have my Goonies socks on. It says, you can see it. Hey, you guys, you know, from Sloth.
We've never had a guest show us their socks before, so
So
that's
the other one is Nightmare Before Christmas is Jack Skellington. so there you go. Yeah, I'm a big kid a little bit.
yeah.
But anyway, so Metroid, Zelda, you know, some really old school games that I have them to play whenever I want to. And, you know, people freak out. I'm like, well, the whole thing is if I'm sacrificing my time now, I'm hoping to get to a spot where if all I want to do is play video games, that's what I can do. So, but it's just going to take a lot of time and hard work and sacrifice to get there. So,
okay. Now, just to stay on that video game theme for another minute, I know nothing about those video games you just talked about. The only video game I ever had was the original Atari where we played Pong.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's it. However, in college, I was the Ms. Pac-Man champion.
Nice.
Yes, I was. And I probably wasted
skill.
like,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's a skill. Yeah. But I probably spent like, you know, $2,000 in quarters in the machine, right. to get there. So when you say just spend the time doing it, right. I get it. But
okay. So here's what I'm going to do for you. We're going to plan a future date. If you ever make it to Dallas, 1, I'm going to take you to Papados. 2, I'm going to take you to a place called Cidercade. For $10, you go in and they have every video game that you could ever want, including like updated versions of some Pac-Man. And of course, they're called Cidercade because they have their own cider and you drink cider. And I mean, it's nonstop playing video games for hours. And it's fun. So if you ever make it to Dallas, Texas, look me up. We got a date.
All right. We got a deal. And it's right here on the internet. So you can't back out of that deal.
Oh, I don't.
Seems like I should make sure I get to Dallas too.
I am an Eagle Scout. I am good on my word.
All right, good deal. Now tell me this. Help me understand what's going on. It seems like every time I turn on a talk show, let's say a late night talk show, or maybe even one of the early morning news shows, that someone has a children's book out. When I go through the section of, say, the supermarket where they sell pens, pencils, crayons, and all that, there's children's books there. What is it with this craze of children's books? What has driven this? What's that about? How is all this happening?
So there's probably 2 parts to it. One, and I'm not trying to be pretentious or anything like that. For me personally, my children's books are relatively easy to write. They're short. They usually have a very simple message. There's no twists and turns like my young adult novels. And there's so many different, you know, aspects that children need help with like self-esteem or just all kinds of different things. And everybody has kind of their own take and everybody has their own vision of what that book should look like for kids. So there's that side of it. Now, don't get me wrong. People are gonna be like, it's not that easy. You got to get an illustrator and blah, blah, and I get that. I'm not talking about the like actual production side. But the writing part of it for me, doesn't take that long. The other side of this is, and this is kind of where I come in, is self-publishing has become way more prevalent because it's easier to get your books printed. Amazon has made that just exponentially easier because you can upload a book for free. They will do what's called print on demand. So if somebody orders my books or buys my books off Amazon, they print out a copy and send it to them. So it's become way easier to actually put those out. Now, the ones you see in the store more than likely are from traditional publishers and stuff like that. And they're probably, I'm just surmising, trying to get as much stuff out there, new stuff, good stuff, just to catch people's eye and attention.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, when I see, well, so it started with celebrities, right? I'd watched like the Tonight Show and Jimmy Fallon is talking about his children's book, and this one has a children's book. And I go on LinkedIn, I see folks that have written children's books all over the place. And the thing that crosses my mind is some of the folks that I've seen write children's books don't have children. And I'm like, well, how do they know what to write about? So the authors that you've worked with, how do they generate their topics for the books? Where do you think that they come from? What are they telling you?
Well, I mean, so most of them is personal experience. Somehow for me, because I'm kind of I'm one of the guys you're talking about, because I didn't have children whenever I wrote, let's see, which one is it? If Mom Became an Octopus, which
Okay.
everybody knows, like that's kind of one of those key things. It's like, oh yes, mom needs all these arms. But one of my friends, her name's Stacy Bauer, and she basically writes, her characters are literally named after her kids, Cammy and Wyatt. They're kangaroos, but it's just about stuff that she realizes, they have too much stuff, so they clean their room. They're eating too much sweets. They are on their video games or on their iPad, whatever. They're on their social media too much, so they miss out on stuff. So it's current and relevant stuff that they're kind of going through. And so it's really just kind of whatever pops in your head. I kind of have a mind of a child and a heart of a child, so I relate to kids really well, and I see what they struggle with. So that's kind of where I pull my inspiration from, and of course they pull theirs. I'm sure once my daughter, her name I can't get online, but we call her Peep, is her online name. You might see her tonight, but she's going to start doing things, I'm sure, pretty soon that I'll be like, that's going to be a book. Oh, that's going to be another book.
She doesn't know this yet.
No, not at all.
So that's going to be some great reading. I can tell it's going to be really cool. Yeah. So take me through the process now. Someone says they want to write a children's book. How do they get started? But then how do they connect with you? I know you have a website that's authorcmhealy.com. That's your website. That's how someone can get in touch with you.
Yep.
So let's say that I wanted to write a children's book and I contact you. Take me through the process of what happens.
So the first thing is, I'm going to tell you again, is write it. Like that's where a lot of people they say, oh, I've always wanted to write a children's book. So I've got a great idea. What do I do? And I'm like, write it. Like that's where you need to start. If you happen to be good at illustrations, then obviously, you can try your hand. But a lot of people, it's almost kind of like the American Idol thing where people get on and they're like, yeah, my friends and family say I sing great. And then you hear them sing and they're like, you're not that great. So it's kind of like they can draw well to their friends and family and they have some, they have some skill, but it's not enough to where you want to look professional in the business. And of course, there's many levels for being a self-published author. Do you just want to do it for your friends and family, hobby? Do you want to make this a lifestyle? So let's just say you want to be like me and make it a lifestyle and make this your main income. Once you write it, then you're going to want to have people read it, obviously edit it, polish it and stuff like that. And find an illustrator. I actually found my guy, Deshaun. He is going to be my go-to illustrator from now on. I met him on Instagram and we connected and he did all these illustrations for me. And he's just fantastic. When you see the pictures, my mind's blown away. I told him, I said, when Disney picks you up, you still have to draw for me because right. You're that good. Once you get that, it's really just a matter of putting it together. So I use InDesign. My wife works in advertising, so I have that kind of niche there. But you want to look good. You want to look professional because Amazon will print anything, and I've seen the anything, and it's not good. So if you want people to actually buy it and be impressed, don't skimp. Find the money to pay the illustrator. Find the money to hire a good designer if you're not that good at it, and to take care of those things to make it look how it needs to look. Like you could put my book on the shelf in any Barnes and Noble across America and you would never know it's self-published.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like in so many other things, can I say you get what you pay for, right? There's a cheap Absolutely. And inexpensive way of doing it, but it may not Absolutely. Be the best way to do it, right?
Absolutely. And real quick, before I even forget, because still there's so many people that make this mistake. If you get contacted by what's called a vanity press, anybody that wants you to pay them money, run far. That's huge red flag alert to all of us self-published authors. We know that it's a scam in a sense, like they're going to take your money and not really do that much for you at all. So
really?
So be warned. Yeah. I literally just got an email today it's got to be automated, but from some company that wants to help me put the word out about my book. The other side dedicated, they literally copied the entire description from the subtitle. So it's like the other side is the title of the book, but then the rest of it says dedicated to Shel Silverstein, illustrated by an 8th grader. And then they're like, book. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about because you obviously haven't looked at my book. Scam. You just want my money. I get it. And that's the problem is, especially when people get started, like brand new, get started off in this, they get stars in their eyes and somebody that they think is really wanting to help them, and they run with it. And then they're out, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. And it's a hard mistake to learn from. So, or an expensive one for sure. So,
yeah. So for someone that wants to publish a book, they shouldn't pay anything to have it done?
There's basically two ways that'll happen. So either you're going to pay everything out of pocket, which is what I do. So I pay for my illustrator, and we do Kickstarter and stuff like that to help generate funds. So it's not completely out of our own pocket for pre-orders and stuff. Or if it's a legit publisher, they believe enough in your work that they're going to front all the costs, maybe pay you some upfront money, and then give you the royalties, obviously. So you make more money as a self-publisher. Like I've talked to many traditionally published authors, and they're like, as soon as I can get out of my contract, I'm gonna start coming back.
Yeah, interesting. That's great to know. That's one of the reasons we have folks like you on the shows to help educate our viewers and listeners as well. Folks, you're watching New Biz Buzz. My name is Leon Thomas. We air here on YouTube every Monday at 7:00. If you would like to be on New Biz Buzz, or you know someone that does, send me an email. My email address is leonthetrainer@gmail.com. Now, CM, you said before we went on air that you had a special offer for anyone watching tonight. Tell us about that.
So, and before, I didn't realize it was New Biz Buzz. So I can change that if you want to really highlight that.
That's fine. Thank you.
Anyway, but it is Biz Buzz. So if anybody
right.
who's listening from now, because I know you're recording and you're going to put on YouTube from now until next Sunday, so June 13th at midnight, if you go on to my website, special Leon discount, Biz Buzz 20. So BIZZBUZZ, and this the number 20, you'll get 20% off your entire order. From me. And of course, my books come signed, they're personalized. There's a lot of fun books. Again, as I've said, I've got books that range all the way from early readers to my young adult novels that, really pretty much hit everybody. So, so go online. You can download samples of all of my books. Check it out. I have a YouTube video where I do a read along of stuff with all of it's CM Healy. Just Google CM Healy and I pop up all over the place.
All right, great. And again, your website is authorcmhealy.com. Right.
Correct.
All right. Good deal. So that's perfect. Now, talk to me about timeframes. So from the time that someone contacts you, how long does it take before there's a physical book in hand?
That depends. I know some of my friends, they get books physical in hand. They're pumping out 2 or 3, 4 books a year. I don't even have time to write that many books. My illustrator, Deshaun, literally from the moment I contacted him which was really about a year ago in June and this wasn't his fault, but he was done in October. So we did sketches, we did tweaks, we did everything. And I think it was August when he finally actually started to do like the full color layout of all the pages. It took him about 2.5 months, give or take. And then I put it all together, sent it to the printer, which was here in the United States. And they had some delays and stuff like that. They had almost a whole month delay. So I actually didn't get a physical copy of the book until January. So that's a little long. It probably could go a little bit faster. Again, it depends on what you're illustrating. If the pictures are simpler, I'm sure he could have gone a lot faster. He actually did mention, he's like, this is the most detailed book I've ever done. And when you look at it, you're like, that's no joke. Like you can actually see the paintings in the Taj Mahal back in the window. It's so finite.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. Now you mentioned that you didn't go to school to be a writer. This isn't what you studied. What's your formal? Tell us about your formal education.
So grew up in Oklahoma, went to school, Oklahoma State University, go Cowboys. And I was always planned to work with kids in some way, shape, or form. So I got my degree in psychology. My master's is in child development and family relations. And I had every intention of going on to get my doctorate in child psychology to be a child psychologist. Well, the thesis paper that I had to write really wore me down. And of course, at that point in time, I'd been in school for about 7 years. I'd met my wife when she was an undergrad, and we got married once she graduated, and we moved to Atlanta. So it really just didn't lend itself to being able for me to do that. And I just kind of started to fall into different roles of working with kids. So I was a manager for a Macy's Kids Playway in Atlanta. Then I became the after school and summer camp director for a private school. And her job kind of moves us around. So then I was a child protective investigator in Jacksonville, Florida, as well as a 3rd and 4th grade teacher. Jump over to Dallas, YMCA again with kids. And then I finally started teaching 7th grade science until where I now currently teach high school chemistry, which I love high school kids because you can be a little more sarcastic and a little more real with them and give them some life skills, which I enjoy.
Yeah, nice. So you've done it all and touch kids at many different ages, right? That's really cool. You don't know this about me. I'm a racquetball coach.
Oh, I love racquetball. Not very good at tennis, keeping it in the lines, but racquetball, when you can hit it wherever you want it to go, I'm down for that. Okay, so there you go. So racquetball, papados, and cider cake.
I'm not playing racquetball in Texas. They're serious players down there. No. No. But it's pretty cool. You don't have to chase the ball. You're in a 20 by 40 room, right? But
yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool. We start with kids as young as 3, so wow. It's a pretty happening and fun time. So now you mentioned Oklahoma State, and you said something like "Go Cowboys."
Yes, sir. Go Cowboys, go Pokes.
And you're in Dallas now. Go ahead.
Right. I like the Dallas Cowboys. I do. They're not my team. My team is the Green Bay Packers. I'm sorry. I know you guys. Are you Patriots fans?
No, I'm a Baltimore Ravens
fan. That's
right.
You guys are right. Yeah, I knew. Yeah. I like the Ravens too. There's not too many. I hate the Patriots actually with a passion. More specifically, Tom Brady. But that's beside the point. We won't get into all that.
Okay.
But yeah, Oklahoma State Cowboys, OSU. My grandfather taught there. Both my parents went there. You know, it was kind of I was going to go. That's where I was going to go. Like I didn't even really apply to anywhere else because that's where I was going to go. So
now, it's interesting that you are a Packers fan. Packers fans are hitting me from all angles. We are working with a college student. Her name is Jasmine Pollock. Her sports talk show debuts tonight at 8:00. And
nice.
She is a Green Bay Packers fan. And there is a restaurant owner we're working with in Atlanta, a breakfast bistro called Just Love Coffee. And the owner there is a Packers fan. And for the benefit of our producer, Dr. J, I won't hold this against him. I never have. He's a Steelers fan. So,
see, they're my second team. Packers, Steelers, and then the New Orleans Saints. Of course, now that Drew Brees is gone, I'm almost more of a fan of the actual players versus because they change around so much. But
that is something how it changes, right? With free agency and all that. So I'm going to ask you some really quick questions here. You give me some quick answers.
Can do.
Here we go. Your favorite food?
Pizza.
Your favorite vacation spot?
Gotta say Hawaii.
Hawaii. All right. Your favorite beverage?
Real sugar Mountain Dew.
Real sugar Mountain Dew? There's a fake sugar Mountain Dew?
There's a corn syrup Mountain Dew.
Come on.
Corn syrup is, oh no, you got to look, corn's in everything. And now I know this because my wife is allergic to corn and many other things, but high fructose corn syrup is basically the cheaper, sweeter way, but it's not to be TMI, but everybody here has eaten corn and has seen corn come out the other side as corn. So, I'm just saying it maybe not be the best thing to put in our bodies, but it tastes different. So being down here in Texas where Dr. Pepper originated, they started coming out with real sugar Dr. Pepper, and it tastes better. It tastes different. It tastes better. And then Pepsi's done the same thing, and Mountain Dew has done the same thing.
Wow.
So real sugar. And it doesn't cost anymore, which I don't know how they're doing it. So I will just keep taking advantage of their real sugar soda. And I don't drink it that often, but.
All right. Here we go. Couple more. Your hobbies.
I collect movie posters, Legos, playing with my daughter now, watching, my wife and I are homebodies. So we've been rewatching the whole Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Netflix. We'll just cuddle and watch that. Dungeons and Dragons. I just had a session with my crew last Saturday. So I'm a big nerd, a band nerd. 16 years of marching band, played the trumpet. So.
Yeah. Oh, you play the trumpet.
Oh yeah. Well, I do. And I guess my other hobby is I play the banjo. Not well, but the kids love it when I take it to the school visits.
Yeah, Dr. J, can you turn my camera off just for about 30 seconds, please? Dr. J, speaking of trumpet, you turn me off, please? And just do a single shot of CM because I got something brewing here.
It's I think right there. I can hear him.
You can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it. All right, Producer Jay, we're ready. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Trust me, you don't want me to play.
He's ready to go. He was ready to go.
I was ready to go. Folks, I'm Leon Thomas. That's CM Healy having a great conversation about children's books. He has a lot of books out. CM, we have just a couple minutes left. Tell us about your latest projects.
So my newest projects that I'm working on, I already mentioned the new kids books that's coming out, but right now this summer I am working on a new series. I'm not sure what the title of the series is going to be called, but the book I think is going to be called Have You Seen This Dog? And it's middle school, grade school horror mystery. So I have a good friend of mine who's in the biz, and he said there's really a void of this. So think Goosebumps type, R.L. Stine Goosebumps, but obviously with my style. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get it out by this fall. And then my wife and I are actually collaborating and working on a new kids book that's going to be kind of a new spin on a detective we all know and love, but more for kids, because I found my high school students don't know how to problem solve and they don't have deductive reasoning. So I want to try and get a kids book out there that really pushes their brains to think outside the box, try to solve problems on their own before just getting spoon-fed answers. That happens a lot in the academic industry.
Yeah, nice. That's a great idea there. And again, your website is authorcmhealy.com. And if you go there and enter the code BizzBuzz20, you get 20% off. And I know you're active on social media also. Tell us some of your social media handles.
I really focus on Instagram, it's at author CM Healy. And then I usually will post stuff from that to Facebook. So my Facebook, if you just search CM Healy, you should be able to find my Facebook page. Yeah, those are the really only two I use. I found very quickly early on, if you try to do all of them, so like Twitter and Snapchat, and I don't do TikTok, but you really get spread thin, and it's just really, really, it's really hard. As a matter of fact, I'm going to toss her name out there. Brooke Young, she's my social media manager. I've actually hired her for about an hour a week. And she helps me with my Instagram account and engaging and keeping up with things. So I'm just that busy, and I can afford to pay her. And she's made my life way, way easier and way more helpful. And she's doing a great job. So,
yeah, we're familiar with Brooke. She's been our co-host on numerous shows and has helped us with some projects as well. She's top notch. She's right on.
Amazing young lady. I don't know where she gets all the energy, let me tell you, but she has enough to spare for me, so I'm okay. That's
right. Yeah, she's really, really good. CM, it's been great having you with us here on New Biz Buzz. Wish you the greatest of successes. I hope that projects keep rolling out. And you mentioned a couple times there were reasons behind why you were writing what you're doing. And most recently, you just talked about kids not having deductive reasoning, being able to solve problems. So you're helping families, you're helping kids. And I know a lot of people appreciate you doing that. So thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for being a guest on our show.
Of course, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I had a blast. You never know. Like I just happened to mention trumpet, and you have his trumpet sitting next to you. Like, what's the coincidence? So,
we're loaded with props right over here. We're loaded with props. You ever been bowling?
Of course.
Yes, Jay, producer Dr. J. Can you take me off screen for a second? We've got like 30 seconds to go. Can you take me out of the shot, please? All right, here we go. CM, I'm going to grab a bowling ball. I'm going to grab a bowling ball.
Now it's going to become a challenge when I come back on your show to think of something to see if you actually have a prop.
Dr. J, we're ready. We have a bowling ball.
Nice.
Right here. This is a 1970-something Earl Anthony model gyro balanced ebonite E11.
One of those bowling balls from the old bowling ball place. Yeah.
But then again, here's a bowling ball that not many people have seen before. This is a duck pin bowling ball.
There you go. I was going to say I knew it was for the wooden pins. I just couldn't think of.
That's it. Right on. We're always ready for props here. It's been great having you on the show, CM. Thanks for being our guest.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Folks, again, my name is Leon Thomas. We were just spending time with children's book author C.M. Healy. To learn more about him, go to his website. That's authorcmhealy.com, and he's offered a 20% discount if you put in Bizz Buzz 20 on his website. Thanks for watching New Bizz Buzz. Be sure to join us every Monday at 7 o'clock right here on YouTube, and be sure to watch our other show, Real Thoughts and Conversation, where we talk about hot topics, sometimes controversial topics, and we allow our guests and our panelists to say their piece, to tell us what their thoughts on without me as the host interrupting or picking a side. If you'd like to be a guest on New Bizz Buzz, or you know someone that has a business that should be here, send me an email. My name is Leon Thomas. Send the email to leonthetrainer@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching New Bizz Buzz. Here we go.